And once again, I find myself starting at the President Clinton Library. Today, I'm going to walk from this library over the Rock Island Bridge, down over into North Little Rock, down to the Junction Bridge, cross it over back into Little Rock and through the River Market. So this is what we're looking at, and this is what we're doing. One more last look at the presidential mobile home, what some people call it, before we ascend over the old Rock Island Railroad Bridge. Hello. So I've given a little bit of a history about the Rock Island Railroad in a previous walk, but basically the red building right here was the train station, and it serviced like Missouri, so people would get on there on the train and take off. First thing they did was cross over the Arkansas River. Of course, they made this a pedestrian bridge about 10 years ago, maybe a little less. I'm excellent with dates whenever they're older, but I can't remember things just recently. I'm gonna have a little photo shoot. Everybody's a model nowadays. So there's a slight incline, and then it drops back down, because these bridges were made, the railroad bridges were made to have a section raise and lower due to barge traffic that's on the river. So if a barge was coming up the river, approaching the bridge, it would radio ahead, or the people would see it, and they would raise the bridge. And this is the span of bridge right here that would do that. It would lift that big section. Hey man, what's up? All right, I'll just do walks around the city. But this section right here would be the one that raises. As you can see, right down here, it's a barge, and then there's that is a sand dredge. But there's a couple more barges down here, and you can see down here the Port of Little Rock is down river. And we have the cityscape, riverfront wetland area, and they put these planters here, these nice flowers. And you can remember I said you can tell time with your fingers on the horizon. That's 4, about 2 hours. 2 hours to sunset. Hey there. So this is the second section. It's basically a big lift on both sides, and they just draw the bridge up in one solid piece. This one has the platform that was arched up over that section, so they have it permanently raised. And the Junction Street Bridge doesn't have the incline, so you have to actually walk upstairs, and there's also an elevator there. and that basically will go through and pull up any sand that's in the channel. A lot of fishermen and boats. And these bridges, you can see some LED lights up here right now, right here. But they are all of the bridges other than the I-30 bridge have had LED lights that are interchangeable, and the city controls them, and they all display different colors. Like on Valentine's Day, they do like a pinkish red. This year, due to coronavirus, each day for the graduating classes of 2020, they featured the school colors of each high school around the area. So every school got their day. You can see right here. There's some LEDs right there. And that's what we're dealing with as far as the pylons that this bridge is mounted on. And this is, basically a 100-year-old, actually probably a little more, railroad. And I think that it went out of service in the early 70s. I want to say that that's what it was. Don't quote me on it. Look it up. Rock Island Railroad. And over here is an RV park, so you can pay, a monthly fee or a nightly fee, and they have hookups, electricity, sewage connections. So, like, if you're a RVer, you can come down here, connect up, and stay as long as you like for a fee. Shot of our great city. So if you do decide to walk this section, this is where it gets just a little weird, because coming off of this bridge, you have to come down to just a regular sidewalk, walking alongside the road until you hit the trail again. Hey, what's happening, man? Yeah, there you go.
I appreciate it, bro.
Yep. I carry two for those situations, and also I use them. I say if a man's thirsty, let him drink. Or I didn't say that. I think Jesus Christ said that, which he had a good point. Of course, in those days, getting fresh water was a hassle. Getting food was a hassle. I mean, you had to be on top of your game. And nowadays, we have bottles of water. Like, I just hand this guy a bottle of water. He didn't have to find a well or a spring or a river. Of course, there's a river right there. But you don't want to drink that. All right, so here, Harper's Loop. Harper's Loop, if you go this way, you'll go into towards Rose City and then off of the England Highway, and I think it goes over off of Faulkner Lake Road. It's a pretty long loop. You can look that up if you are wanting to do a long bike ride. They actually have a 100-mile marathon, and I don't know if that's associated with it, but they have they go way out in western Pulaski County. I think even towards Perry County. It's 100 miles just in central Arkansas is a pretty good loop, and they do that in one day. Which I used to ride bikes. I don't do it anymore. But it was nothing for an hour or so to do the Riverfront Trail, and me and a friend of mine, we do 20 to 25 miles in a few hours, even stopping along the way, or you can really pump it and get after it. And I said that was the Sandman. I think that the Sandman isn't over there. That is a sand dredge that I was talking about. Okay, and if you can kind of see what I was saying, how this section right here and here, that's the elevator type parts. And so it's raised now, you can see the platform, but it would lower and stay lowered so trains could travel, and it would only raise when needed. And of course, after they discontinued service in the Rock Island Railroad, they just left it up because there was no need to have it down at all. We'll be approaching Interstate 30 bridge.
Hey,
that's right. Proof that I'm doing it. It's good to see lots of people out here getting their exercise on. I've noticed that during the COVID-19, more and more people are actually getting out and exercising. It's a pretty warm day too, but it is what it is. Drop a few LBs. All right, so if you're coming in here, this is the okay, I mentioned in my sunset walk about the seawall. This is the seawall right here. It's a concrete wall, and it goes on, and it actually turns into a levee right over there. But I told you they would come in, and they would fill this in. So a crane or a forklift would come in and drop a big flat piece right in here and seal this off, so that when the floodwaters got up here, because the floodwaters, I wish they marked it. They got about halfway up this wall, and that if you think about it, man, that's a lot of water rolling through here. Just say we would be standing in the river about 4 feet deep, all the way across. I'll see if I can find a high water mark. Let's see if I can find one. It was last year, so a lot of it might have been washed away. But I will say, when you're walking through that, when you're traveling through that one part of the seawall on the river trail, you got to really watch it, because these bicyclists, they'll come barreling through there, and they throw caution to the wind. There's another one of the open parts of the seawall. Like I say, they just come in here and drop it, and they had them all closed off. This is a boat. It's a public access boat ramp right there, and they have extra long parking spaces so that you can park your boat and trailer. And in case you didn't realize, we are under the bridge downtown, North Little Rock. That's my Anthony Kiedis, Red Hot Chili Peppers voice. Here comes a car behind me. So this is a road. There isn't a pedestrian area, so you just have to kind of walk on the road. Okay, I'm going to peruse over here, and you can see, not only will I give an excellent shot of Little Rock, but I'll show you, you can see on this bridge how they brought the bridge up and down. And like I say, this one's in a permanent up position. All right, I'm gonna stand right here in the shade. Probably get a good little view. Okay, so that section is raised. You can see this is lower and that's raised. And that before would go up and down whenever it was in use. There's still one on the other side of the Broadway bridge that is in use, and they have to raise it from time to time. But look at this. Let's see. That's it. That's the shot right there. That's my city. With my dog. And I'm not a city snob, because I kind of include Little Rock and North Little Rock to be one city, even though it's two different cities. But if you're someone, say you live even further north of North Little Rock, say in Sherwood, usually if you run into somebody from out of town and they say, hey, where do you live? You say Little Rock, because it's on the outskirts. It's still part of Central Arkansas. Another seawall, Simmons Bank Arena, formerly Verizon Arena, formerly Alltel Arena. So I got to think, did I go to more things at Alltel or Verizon? I've only been to one show at Simmons, so I know I haven't been to more at Simmons, but I'm trying to think, because Alltel, that first 10 years of being Alltel, man, I saw a lot of shows there. Kid Rock, Korn, Dixie Chicks, countless hockey games. Went to arena football. They had arena football here at the time, so it was a lot of things going on at the Alltel Arena. Verizon, other than the shows, I've probably only been to maybe a handful or a dozen shows at Verizon, probably 3 dozen or more at Alltel. So we'll slip on over here, show an attraction for a tourist attraction. Or I guess it's a tourist attraction here in North Little Rock. It's the USS Razorback. It's an actual submarine. It's a working submarine. If they wanted to, they could unhook this thing and take off in it. It actually would work. They city of North Little Rock purchased this from Turkey. It was ours. USS Razorback was in World War II, I believe Korea, and we decommissioned it, and the Turks bought it from us. They used it, and then the city of North Little Rock purchased it from the Turkish for, I think it was like $100,000 or $150,000. It was very inexpensive. And the mayor of North Little Rock at the time actually flew to Turkey and boarded it, and they floated this thing all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, up into the Gulf of Mexico, up the Mississippi River, into Arkansas River, and came up, and they got to about 25 miles downstream, and it was very low water, so they had to float in some pontoon boats to give it a little more buoyancy. This can float in 8 feet deep of water, but it was like 6 feet, so it needed a little boost. But that's it. It's on the other side there. I can't walk down there because they have it gated off. But it starts right over here. You see where they come up and along there. Now right in front of me is the USS Hoga, and it was actually at Pearl Harbor, and it rescued some people while it was in Pearl Harbor. And the city acquired that. I don't remember how they did that or how much they paid for it, but it was they added it here. We have it's the Maritime Museum that's right there. That's right at the base. So we just walked through the seawall. And there is a memorial for the submarines in World War II. And we're gonna go up here. Hey there. Alright, so just to let you know, the Junction Street Bridge opens at 6 a.m. and closes at 10 p.m. or 2 hours after special events. And they do lock it, you can see right here. So special events would be a concert, either at the Amphitheater or at Verizon Arena. And they could use this to park on one side of the river, walk across. It is a short little jaunt. There's some of the LEDs. And it's no Cracker Jack. It's no Cracker Jack LED display. They do a really good job. There's the Hogue. And here's a lot better shot of the USS Razorback. Now, of course, it's coincidence and I guess fate that this is called the USS Razorback. It has nothing to do with Arkansas or the Arkansas Razorbacks, but because of the Razorback fish. There's a fish called the Razorback. There it is. You can see the name right there. Right there, Razorback. And I don't know if I mentioned earlier, there's the Turkish flag, the United States and the Turkish flag. Crossing the river into this great city of mine. There are a lot of pigeons on here, and you have to beware of pigeon dung. It drops. You can see fresh pigeon dung right there. They'll sit up there and just cop a squat, as they say. There's the first security amphitheater. Right here. The I-30 bridge with the Rock Island Bridge that we just walked over. Alright, so let me get over here, see if I can catch some of this shade here. Alright, I don't know if you can see this bridge right here on the bottom. You can see it's down all the way across. That is the only railroad bridge that's in use right now that crosses the Arkansas River in Little Rock. And it's down right now because there's more train traffic than there is barge traffic. So they would, if a barge was coming up, it would communicate with Union Pacific, that's who runs it, and they would raise that up. Dang, y'all made some time. I heard that. This is probably, that loop is probably about a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles. If you go to the Broadway Bridge, which is the furthest pedestrian bridge on this little loop, and make it back there, it is it's 3 miles. I don't know what's going on here. Bucket of stuff up there. See, the thing is, it's like people will climb in here and actually, like hobos, they'll climb up there and sleep. And then you can see, got the love locks. Turtle loves gator. Yeah. Whoa. As you can see, lots of lovebirds. Put a date on it, their initials, their special occasion, an engagement, a wedding, first date, Father's Day, no telling. So where we are, if you notice from a previous walk, there's the riverfront park. There's where the wooden Indian is carved. Excuse me. Splash pad is right over here. Of course, you haven't seen the splash pad in action because we were in the middle of COVID. So, Pulaski County Courthouse, State House Convention Center. Now you got your bearings. And that down here is not just a pretty waterfall, that is actually runoff from the city streets. Hey, what's that? And again, here's the lift. Those big cables raising the section of track. All right, and there it is, Little Rock River Market.
What is that? My fault.
Oh, that's good, man. Hey, what's happening, man? Woo. All right. Back on sacred soil. All right. As you can see, we're back here. It's like a zoo right here. There's a squirrel, some ducks. I guarantee there's pigeons around here somewhere. Here's the Indian. And this pavilion has lots of information about Arkansas history, a timeline of explorers. Along with a playground. And they have this wide open now. Before they had caution tape on it. So Arkansas just entered phase 2 of the getting back to normal. I don't know what it's called, COVID getting back to normal. And so this statue right here is the namesake of the county. Casimir Pulaski. Boom, bunch of jing, kind of bow wow, mama beat, I don't. It's getting louder and louder because it's in a topless car. That's the best way to get girls is to have 2 dudes sitting in a 3-wheeled vehicle blaring music. Girls dig it. They love it. Ask any female. So now, walked up to alongside Diablo's Taco to Markham and President Clinton. They're not an intersection because actually one turns into the other depending on which way you're going. So I'm gonna go straight here. Go straight, turn left on 2nd Street, and head back to the where we started.
That's 72.
A little ways to go. Nothing like a good red brick building with some green trim. And we're on the backside of the small cabins. From the Arkansas Historic Arkansas Museum. Historic Arkansas Museum. I don't know why I want to just call it the Arkansas Historic Museum. That rolls off the tongue a little bit better than Historic Arkansas Museum. There's a statue in there. Rounding on the 2nd Street. So this building right here is the Central Arkansas Library main branch. And a little courtyard for, I don't know, I've never been in there. Never been, well, I've been in the library, I've never been in that courtyard. This is where the elevators are. That's not a glass elevator, but that is just the section where the elevators are located inside the Central Arkansas Library. And here is a streetcar stop along this yellow stripe. It is not running now due to COVID, but that is where it stops. And as I explained in a prior video, these parking spots right here are free parking. This is the closest free parking that you'll get to the river market. And the river market is just on the other side of these buildings. You can walk through right there, and that'll take you between the Ron Robinson Theater, coming out at Kilwin's Ice Cream and Fudgery. And you can see, got children's books. Painted and muraled on the side. And I ain't gonna lie, this grass, it's loud, but this grass, fresh cut grass smells so good. And look at this intertwining of streetcar cables. Streetcars are electric, so it has to touch these wires up here and then also be touching the tracks. That's what gives it the current. And so this is an intersection where you have tracks here, here, there, there, and double over there. So it's a big intersection of track. That's why that big spider web of cables are up there. And this would be the next closest free parking, right in there. When everything is open and operational, it's pretty hard to find a spot in there. It's tough. And it's tough to negotiate it too. So if you have a big vehicle, I wouldn't go in there. Use a compact car. Bigger vehicles can park on the other side on Sherman Street. So there you go. $2 per hour, $12 maximum. That'd be for the day. So basically, 6 hours or more, you're gonna be paying the max. Excuse me. Hey. There we go. Is Cosmo Kramer in there? Nope. Just a regular old fireman. Sherman to President Clinton Avenue, and we'll head east back to where we began. Museum of Discovery. You can watch my river market walk to gather information and about the river market. Hey, look here, 5G. And that no good rascal, he wouldn't give me a lift if I put a carrot in front of his face. Not quite sure what that means. Are they trying to say something there? I doubt a lady came up with that sign. Bald eagle. A lot of people out and about. Alright, as you can hear, we're back here. I-30 bridge. Right above us. Under the bridge down is where I lost my lunch. (2002) 2003. I can't believe it was that long ago. A long time ago. What? So the other day I said, this is my grandma right here. This is not my grandma, but it looks like my grandma. It looks like what she would be taking me out to pick tomatoes. My stupid finger quit working. And that's where we were. We went along this bridge right there. We got some cardboard sliders right there. I prefer snow, but we're a long way from snow. Nice to be in the shade of the I-30 bridge and the trees surrounding it. It was in the 90s today. Low 90s. Pretty warm. Love of God. Pick up the poo. I don't care what anybody says, that is a beautiful sight right there. Arkansas is the natural state. Has lots of natural beauty, rivers, streams, mountains, forest. Me. If you don't know, most of the time I do put links to the actual walk that I did. I try to get it as close as possible. So if you are wondering exactly where I am, you can click on the link in the description and it will give you a walking directions of where we went. It's not just me, it's us. Me and you and you and you and you and me. You, me, and me. What is it? Well, here it is. Back at the beginning. This is it. Calling it quits. Gonna walk over here to the spongy sidewalk. A little bounce and step. Hit subscribe. Hit thumbs up. Or not. But do it if you want. And most of all, rock the bell. Dong! I don't have a bell here. It'd have been nice to have one. I rang 2 bells in Pine Bluff. Check those out. Thanks for tagging along. I'll see y'all on the next one.